And good morning. I am a little bit late, of course. A little bit. Whatever. I need my coffee. Sorry for being a bit disheveled this morning. I'm not used to streaming on a Sunday. But that's life, isn't it? Let me check the audio levels. This is a bit too loud for me. I can change that here without changing for you now. I have changed again stuff. Okay, so, and I think I will make it a little bit louder for you actually. So, welcome and thank you for dropping by. We will be looking at our Black Panther, and that is this handsome lad. Let me check. This is not too ideal. So okay, there I can see what you see. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Diana. This is late morning. This is not morning. And I also have my coffee. And I have my coffee Cosa. Look. Hey Shakira. Isn't he a beautiful? My self-made thermochromic coaster. If you're interested in that, there is a video on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet, you should. It was a lot of work. Okay, but you're here for portraits, so let's not beat around the bush too long. Let's just go into it. We have a lot to do still today, so your plan for today, hair. The people that are here, I think all of them know how I hate hair, so we won't beat around the bush too much. So I have watched this tutorial, a quick one, because I have never drawn short curly hair, at least not successfully. And they make it all seem so easy. So I'm always very hesitant to even use tutorials because most of them just say, oh, it's easy, and you just, for example, in this one, you just do little scribbles, just circles, a whole lot of them, but just circles, and it looks amazing in the end. I'm just thinking, where did they do magic, and why don't they tell me how I could do magic? But we'll see. Perhaps it works, perhaps it doesn't. Well, I've thought about opening an Etsy shop for those because they are pretty amazing. I have still to optimize them. For example, I think they need some kind of you see, it takes a long time for them to even lose the color again. You can see here. Oh, let me put this here. Ah, that's perfect. You can see he's still going through all those colors. It takes about, I don't know, 5 minutes, something like that, until they lose. It depends, of course, of the temperature. For my photographs I did to not have to wait, I actually laid them down on my balcony because the storm was cold and it just directly changes color. But if I would produce those, they would have to have something underneath them, some kind of felt or something that then makes them less skitty and that they do not damage any. It's just wood. If you had very delicate surface, it could scratch it perhaps, so it would need that, or some kind of rubber or something underneath them. And I think more resin to really build up on the side, you know. So you see there's very little. This is really more or less the minimum. You see that there are even areas where it's not that much resin is on there. So they need to be really level, which I did not level them. and they would need more resin, I think, to make it more even. And they are so responsive that I would not be afraid if I would not put 10 times the resin or something. I would not be afraid of them losing the sensitivity. Truth be told, they change color from you just rub them 2 times to clean them up, and they start to change color. It's really, they are extremely responsive. Like Jamie, exactly. Just a few rings. Just a few rings. So we will start now with those few rings. Told you a little bit about the coaster. I will, if we will get more people online here, I will take out the coasters again because they are really, really cute. How-to video on my channel. I love them. I will do more with it. I have so many ideas how to play around with those and do some other effects and stuff. I have to be careful not to become a color changing coaster channel. I don't think there's that big of an audience, but let me know in the comments if you want me to become a color changing coaster channel. So, as I said, I have never drawn this type of hair. I've watched a tutorial that I hope will help me. That says just do scribbles, so we will do that. We will try that together. Thanks for being here with me and holding my hand through this very exciting process. I again lost my... Where is my 2B? Oh, there's my 2B. Yeah, let's just start. I already forgot again what... No, they said start with a dark one, and it makes sense. It is a dark hair, and we cannot forget our white gel pen that we already used in the eye. That will help us with the highlight. So, I'm not really sure if I will ignore the highlights right now. We will just start with the dark side here and see how it turns out. And if we want to improve something there. But they said start already with a dark pencil, but still have darker ones that you can change to. So they said just draw scribbles and make them use more and more and more and more and more pressure to get them darker. And we will probably use the same technique, almost the same technique on the beard, depending on how this works out for the hair, you know. So this could take a while. I'm actually not sure if we will be able to finish this today, now that I've started it. That's the evil trick when they use time-lapses in their videos. Who uses time-lapses? Time-lapses are evil. You never know how long it really took. I am thinking about actually with the logo, Chuck, I'm thinking about having... I'm sounding a little bit Canadian today, right? I'm not Canadian, just so I think you noticed that I'm not original English speaker, but still, I'm saying oat a lot today. I was thinking about having my logo in white, of course, printed on a transparent sheet of paper. Put that underneath the color changing color, so that you always have my little white logo down here in the corner. But everything around the white, and perhaps even on top of the white, but I think you will not see it because it's white. That you can have the, that you always have that logo somewhere in the corner, you know. But I have other ideas with having some kind of design in the color changing. But I will not put my logo in a big way on there, perhaps in a special edition. I mean, offer me enough money and I would make you some. I have no idea what to charge for them. I would even have to calculate how much each costs. I actually thought it would be much more expensive. but it is pretty okay price-wise. So I will still stick to my plan. I was just thinking about directly branching off here into the more dark areas, light areas in this case. But let's stay here. They actually, again, so almost every single artist I am watching with tutorials also on YouTube is smudging. I still am not 100% convinced that I will do that, but I start to think about using something to blur the lines you've drawn. You see, everything that I draw is very structured because I don't smudge. I do not use my finger or I even have the tools. I don't use them. I only use them every time I say I'm not using them, and so that's why they are dark. So they again use that to have a general uniform layer underneath the hair. But they said you don't need to do it, so we will see. So we will draw everything like this that is not really light. So the light reflections we will ignore for now, to just verify that this works in the dark areas. I'm very happy right now that your camera is not mounted on so the camera above that you are watching through is not mounted on the desk, because the circuits are moving the whole table. I have to be careful that I'm not too orderly with those scribbles, I think. Especially in this area where we will not put too many scribbles down there, because there's not that much hair. But I think it already looks better, even in this very rudimentary style. It looks much better than what I would have done with pure shading. And I have to commend the people that come up with these techniques that are pretty simple with just drawing circles, but still get a good result, because I would never... Yeah, I know it's curly, but I would never had that idea by myself, I think, to just say, okay, I draw just a buttload of circles, and that will be curly hair then. I'm not that kind of brave. But I think I'm not blocking a camera that much with my head today, so progress was made. This actually is painful in the hand. I might have to take some breaks in between. And bust out the color changing coaster from time to time. Ooh, you have seen Black Panther? It is an amazing movie, isn't it? It is one of the more special one, and I really have to hand it to those guys. I never was a big Avengers fan in the comics. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan in the comics, truth be told. But they managed to always take those characters that I was not really that interested in and make something good out of them, interesting out of them. Interest me in them. Even if I was not interested in the comics. And Black Panther is one of those. I never really cared about Black Panther. But in the movie and with Wakanda and with his sister and mother and all that stuff all around, the overall mythology and the standing of Wakanda, they captured it really so beautiful and interesting. I loved it. There are people not loving it, and that's okay. That looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And Captain America, so yeah, right, of course. There I did not like him that much. He was quite the... Okay, he was right. He was right. No discussion about that. He had to believe what he believed at that point. But he was a little B-word in between. But in the end scene, we will not spoil anything if there might be somebody who has not seen it in the chat. But in the end, he proves to be more or less the most sane and most how do you say it? Not grown up, but you know what I mean. Most balanced person, most sane person. The adult in the room. Yeah, he plays that accent very well. Or played. Not sure if you have already... if you know that, Chuck, if you were not that big in the scene, in the Marvel scene before that. He recently died, the actor, Chadwick Boseman. So he does, unfortunately, will not reprise his role. No idea if and where Black Panther and how he will get back into the... I think they planned originally to have him in the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. Not sure if they did. Yeah, everyone, that's true. Everyone in Civil War is broken, that's kind of the point. True, but... yeah, I already wrote Chuck when she saw the movie. I wrote her that I prefer the comics opening of Civil War. I don't think it makes sense. The motivation they laid with the Sokovia Accords in the movies, they do not make sense for me. To a certain degree, but not in that way that they have created it. And I think Iron Man is a bit out of character in that regard. So I have a little trouble with that. Other than that, it is a really great movie. And who does not love a good superhero versus superhero fight scene? Yeah. So this already looks not that bad actually. So the technique I have seen in that tutorial, it works. I think I should make something like, what do you guys think? I think I should make a channel on the Discord where I post all the tutorials that I used for preparation for stuff like this, what I have not done. So that we have some way for you guys also to see what I have used, if you're interested, but also just in paying homage to those guys that did those videos that I profited off by using their techniques. Looks a little bit as if he had caviar on his head, so I will put a little bit of a general shading underneath, so we do not have that many white spots, but very light pressure on the pencil so that it is gray and not white, and not so that we have no white but gray, but not blackness everywhere there. But that is, I think, required because there are just too many highlights. We'll of course use those highlights in the other areas here. We need them there. But here they look wrong because they are wrong. So, and everyone said, what does, they didn't have the rights to the X-Men though. You do not need the X-Men for the opening of Civil War. The issue is, it is kind of the reason, not completely the reason. You do not need the X-Men. You need just more people with superpowers that are not the Avengers, and they have not established that. That was the reason. So just hey Dante, thank you very much for joining us today. Hey, can I say Leo here? In the comics they have the motivation for those accords and the Superhero Registration Act. It is not called Sokovia Accords because it's not about Sokovia in the comics. Is started because there is a superhero team that is more or less a TV star series with selling stuff and marketed superheroes, and they just, one of them is a hothead and he just runs into a situation where you have a super villain that can explode, and he explodes and kills a complete town with a school and everything. And then they say, okay, superhero beings have to be registered and coordinated by official forces, and that makes sense somehow. But of course they also have more time for a build-up in comics. I don't want to call you different names on different platforms. I am fine. I'm a bit tired. Have you seen? I have to. This hurts the hands a lot to draw hair like that. It's the first time I'm doing it. Have you seen? So I take a break now. Have you seen my color changing coasters that I've made? Video on my channel. How to? Oh, they're gorgeous. I love it. I want to coat everything in color changing paint and resin now. So be careful if you ever visit me. You might end up color changing and in resin. Sounds like a horror movie, doesn't it? No, it's not mutant registration. It's a superpower registration act, I think. Of course, the coaster will come all the time. I love them, and I need the break in between. I am very proud of them. It's just, it was really a lot of fun making them, but it was also a lot of work making them. And they are not perfect. I would not use them like this because I need something underneath and everything. I'm using it, but just because I love them so much. I'm had it underneath my coffee this morning just because I could, not because I need it. And I watched the colors. I don't need a lot of entertainment in the morning when I have not drunk my first coffee, so looking at the changing colors is everything I need. So let's put in some even more. Oh, let's no, we will go now all the way. This does not make that much difference. We will go all the way with my Blackstone. I will try to get a better tip. Let me concentrate. Oh, yeah, that's right. That one does not work. Where is my other? I don't have the perfect, my preferred sharpener, but I will use this one. I have to be very careful because the black pencil is so soft and dark that it breaks like crazy. So, but ooh, I never had a tip like this. So we will use this now, and I will Just state now, it will be totally gorgeous. If not, I will weep. Aren't they beautiful? They are beautiful. Liana and Shaka are just making fun of me. Protect me, Leo. Protect me from them. They're just mad that they haven't received any coasters yet. He's also, this Panther is also called Mr. Squeaky in the chat because he is quite squeaky. Oh, I have to be really careful. I should never make a point like that again because it's just not for this pencil. He starts to break very easily. I have to be really careful with using it here though. I think it wouldn't be more of an effect if I had not already used the other pencil that much. Will I put it everywhere? Just breaking. I'd have to be careful not to smudge anything. We'll only use it in certain areas to dark light those. To anti-highlight them. And I would try to sync that with areas where there are actual shadows in the hair. That is always a good idea because if you orient yourself on the original and it is grounded in reality, it cannot look that wrong in the end. So always, even if you're doing stuff like this, which is quite random because it has to be, so it looks random, ground it somewhere in the template you're using. Is it very early? No, it's very late for you, isn't it, Leo? Isn't it kind of a bad time for you to be awake? I was at Woodstock. I fed one of those flow people and I spent 5 hours watching my head move. Yes, I know where that citation is coming from. Thank you very much, Leo. Yeah, I am mad. I want some, but he won't let me buy any. I never said I won't let you buy any. I just said I have not heard the right price yet. You know? $3:30. Ah. That's fine then. I thought it was late. So, I like it. How it looks? It does not look perfect. Far from it, but I would not have been able to do anything near this without that tutorial. There is a harsh line here that should not be there, so we will just shade that away. Here there starts a bit of more contrast, so we will leave that. Here again is a bit less. This has to more or less bleed completely into the color of the forehead. Here again we have a quite strong line, so we all again will leave that. We will even make it a bit stronger by removing some of the squiggles that went over that line. By just moving the line a little bit to the left, faking a little bit. I'm not mad at it. I'm looking forward to see how I will handle the rest. Because that should be... I think we will go with my more or less standard. This is not the standard. Oh no, let's take the 6B. 6B cheaper pencil that is already quite gray, not black. So not one of those cool, pretty black ones. Less black, we will use that as the first one. We started with the really dark ones already in the dark areas. We'll start now with a much less dark one in the rest, because we need the same amount of squiggles to make it... Squiggle is the right... I love the word squiggles, so I'm saying squiggles a lot right now, although it is a difficult word for me. Difficult word for me to say. We need the same amount of squiggles, not squirrels. I would take squirrels. Squirrels are cute, but we need squiggles. The same amount. So we will start with a lighter one to start lighter. I'm rambling. Why are you letting me ramble? But why would I do that when I can have him make them for me and help his out with some cash? Yeah, offer me money. I will start. So a lot of squiggles, and I will more or less ignore the light reflection. We will see the light reflection will come by not shading underneath with a pencil, how I did here, to remove all those remaining very light areas. And with the gel pen, we will also highlight some areas with that very cooperative and helpful gel pen. I should have started with a beard though, because I'm starting to like this and I am now afraid of messing it up with a beard. I would have liked to mess it up with a beard first and then rescue it a little bit with the hair. If you understand what I mean. The other way around feels more like a failure. But we'll see. Perhaps the beard looks fantastic. You never know. Make that amount of... I want to say squirrels now all the time. Make this amount of little circles and do not need that amount of breaks I get from showing off my coasters, I dare you. This is really not good for the hand. Good thing that I am a pretty patient person. I hope you're also patient and stay with me. I can show you from time to time, or I will just put it here so you can see it all the time because it's so pretty. Look, I will just... And in the time lapse everyone will be just wondering why I do this. But I can put a link to the video up there. Make some advertisement. Squirrel head, yeah. Squirrel head could have been a 60 years Batman villain, no? But it would probably just be a person with a head of a squirrel. Or a Darkwing Duck villain. Isn't it pretty? It's a rhetorical question, it is effing pretty, but there is too much reflection, you can't see it there. You can't see the prettiness there. How dare I? I also have to make scratch tests, but I really do not want to try and scratch my coasters. That's terrible. I have to create a new batch, a better batch, so I do not feel that bad about scratch testing the first one, you know, at least the more experimental one. There's this one that I made, if you've seen the video, you know, which looks a bit wonky because the varnish did not work with the color changing stuff, at least how I used it. That is probably my candidate for ruining for a scratch test. Yeah, but they are worth a stream, aren't they? I was actually thinking about doing streams live streams, not only for drawing, but also for the crafting stuff. If I do more now with crafting, that would mean that I would have to prepare every step of the way, so that I can show you everything that I did live on stream, but it would be changing coasters, because takes the fastest thing is the black paint, which takes half an hour to dry. That would be, if I would do it in real time on the stream, that would be quite a boring stream. But when I would just exchange the coasters and say, okay, this one I show you how to blacken it, and now this one is already dry. Let me show you how I spray the thermochromic crystals on it. I was thinking about something like that. But that would also just be quite a short one, probably. I don't know. It would be quite a lot of preparation for a very short stream. If I had hundreds of people say I want to see that, I would be there. That would be different. I love you guys, but I have limited resources, so I have to be a bit careful with them. I think that would be fun. Not a stream where you can watch paint dry. Actually, that would also be fun. Funny. Not fun to watch, but it would be funny. Should we open a channel where people can watch paint dry? Does that fall under... there probably is one, right? I've seen a stream of a turtle on Twitch, where you can see the whole day the turtle, and the turtle visits your streams. So, talking in third person, visiting other streams, just sitting in the terrarium the whole day. So that's everything. I wouldn't be surprised if people are streaming the contents of their fridge, which would have the advantage that if you are buying stuff, you can always look into your fridge to see what you're missing. It would be helpful at times. So if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, by the way. And subscribe. I would love if you would subscribe to see more portraits and coasters and stuff like that. Planning other stuff. It's not all about resin and thermochromic effects that I'm thinking about. But I will diversify a little bit. I hope that is okay for you guys. With more energy comes more types of content. Am I? No, I'm not in the camera, and I'm leaning forward pretty far. Ha! The way the camera is right now, I am not blocking it anymore. That is good news. Although it is way up high there. It makes it a lot easier for me. We have a first coat. This takes forever. This really takes forever. It looks like a fish lay his eggs on his head. But we will work on that. So we will not even put this now everywhere. We will start already with the... No, we will do it the other way around. We will start with the very dark ones now, you know, so that I can mark the very dark places and then branch out and get a little bit lighter coming to the back of the head where the light comes from. I think that's a smarter approach to do this. We will see. This is not the Darkstone pencil, because I don't think we will use that very much anymore in these areas. But the next two darkest pencil that I have. We'll put a little bit of accents again with the Darkstone one, but really few. But this one needs more action. ASMR while watching paint dry. Which kind of ASMR though? The paint will not make that much of a noise, will it? Sorry. So I'm happy that I pushed it to this level already in the last stream, because this takes forever. And I'm glad that I started at 10 and not half an hour later or something. Because I need to get this finished today. I need to release the video tomorrow. It gets to a certain point where I would say it has a structure. It gets more organic looking. You know what I mean? Why shouldn't I do ASMR? ASMR, yes, ASMR. What if I told you I have already dabbled with ASMR? Because it's just so relaxing. I will not start eating into my microphone, I can promise you that. I actually tried already if the noise of drawing and scribbling is interesting enough for an ASMR video. I did not think it is. Your mileage may vary. And I feel very, very what's the word? Embarrassed when I try to, it's not the right word, but you will get the meaning. Embarrassed when I try to whisper for ASMR. I also do not have an ASMR voice. I have a microphone with which I could do it. Not this one. This is a pretty high quality, but it is a mono one. Yeah, the question is if I'm talking too much to make this relaxing. But on the other side, you could always mute my voice and just put in some other relaxing music. We are streaming now for, where is my, oh, there's my overview. For 50 minutes almost, so no, not that long actually. We will have to take a quick break in a couple of minutes though. Too much coffee. I think I won't do that much anymore actually in the hair, because while it does not really look great, I don't hate how it looks and it is on the right track. So for the first time, I don't think I can really expect much more. So I am pretty happy with it. Mr. Squeaky has to put his weight into the ring for a second. The question is if I ruin it now, if I try to use the gel pen or if I help it. Would not even be sure how. So I will probably not use the gel pen because I think the reflection with all those areas that are still white is prominent enough. We will see in the end, probably, when we have done everything else, if we want to revisit that or if not. I think we need a little bit more hair up here. I think there is not enough. Hair up here. Oh, I think it's better. Thank you, Leo. But I still won't do ASMR with a whispering voice. I'm not sure that that is very relaxing. I don't know. I'll be gone for a minute. Please enjoy my break screen. Which for some reason I have to start 2 times, so the video stops. Well, horror ASMR is probably also some kind of market there, isn't there? I'm sure there is. Beard. Although I will try to do a little bit more, because this needs. I just scribbled that in the beginning. In the end from the scream. Scream? Scream! I will give this a bit more attention, because it is an important part that shows you how the light is flowing. It has now a bit more weight. I might have to darken this whole area still a bit. Yeah, let's do it a little bit now and then see later if we have to add even more darkness. I'm starting to not hate it, so let's be careful with what we add and what not. So, people want to be scared into sleep. Yes, of course. Not? No? I think they want to. I think they need it, even. Okay, I'm a bit at a loss concerning the beard. I will probably use my normal techniques. This one is right now starting to ruin my paper, so I cannot use that anymore. But okay, I think I will be using my regular techniques, although they are not perfect for this type of hair. And we will start with dark, but not extreme dark. And I will start actually here, because just adding a mustache will already help with similarity, I think. The personal attention? What is a personal attention ASMR? I can also speak softer, but not that much better, is it? So no, probably not that much ASMR. So I want to be pretty precise here, that's why it will take quite some time, because there's not that much hair that he has around the mouth. So that should be pretty correct from the get-go, and will not have a lot of leeway to fix anything if it is wrong. It always looks boring and flat if you only use one kind of pencil, even if you apply different pressure, the range of a single pencil is just bound to make you not fall in love with areas like that. So never expect a single pencil to do that. Always have at least 2, ideally 3 or even 4 different strengths available to make this more lively. It's where you interact with the camera as if you're touching and talking to another person in the room with you. For example, makeup inspires personal attention ASMR, if you know what I mean. Yes, I know what you mean, but those are stuff that I have seen, but I've never listened to. Because that's not, this roleplay ASMR area is not, absolutely not my thing. When I'm looking for ASMR for relaxing purposes, I'm looking for no voice, no speak ASMR. Because I do not care for whispers. That's probably why I'm doing it wrong also. Because I don't understand it. I don't need talking ASMR people in my head. There are enough voices in my head. Fighting for attention. But in the game, what's the name? Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. They're doing exactly that. It's an amazing game. If you haven't seen it, played it, you should watch for it. And if you find a good playthrough with good audio recording quality, watch it with headphones. Because they use binaural audio, the main character is, I don't know which kinds of psychological issues she has, but she has a couple of them, and she has voices in her head telling her in between that she cannot make it and stuff like that. It's really fascinating, and they're using binaural audio for that, so it's really lifelike, those voices running around you and whispering in your ears, so that's really cool. But it's not something I personally connect with relaxing. Yeah, I don't like those types of ASMR. Sorry, and the eating ones, yeah, the eating ones, I cannot look at the eating ones. I need a break again, I'm sorry, I'm pulling out again my color changing coasters, which I'm pretty proud of, and where you can find the video on my channel. I'm sorry for the plug again. I love them, and I need, my hair needs a break. That hair was really, it hurts, it hurts, it burns. So, sorry for that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shak. Another Shak. I call Shakira Shak, so that could be an issue. Thank you, new Shak. Thank you very much for spending time with me and saying that. That's very kind of you. I am getting more and more happy. It's the first time I have been doing this kind of hair. It looks, I probably will do still something with it, because those squiggles, those circles look still a bit too tidy. If that's a word I can use in that. It's great if I want to talk about using a different word for a different meaning when I do not know how to say that in English right now. I'm sorry. I'm not a native English speaker. So, yeah, the beard I can draw more traditional, but I am not very good in beards also. But I really want to get this right, this one, so I have just to power through it. But I will change back to the a little less dark, a little less soft pencil here. So highlights start from here on forwards, so I will concentrate from now on those areas which are, I would say, regular black, which I can power through to make just dark, 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 and then we will worry about the other stuff. Shakoyok, your name sounds like you have also an art channel. Is that correct? Are you making art? And if so, what kind of art are you making? I cannot really see from your... It's a bit small, but it looks colorful, your profile pic. What kind of art are you doing? And Chuck, you can tell me, so Shakira, let me call you Shakira for the length of this the stream at least. Why did Vitani ask when the stream is? Or said, oh, there's the stream I always miss in the beginning, and now she's not here. Do you have an explanation? I've not checked the Discord, perhaps she wrote she cannot. Figurative art. Figurative in terms of, I'm sorry if my English is not good enough for that, in terms of you're doing figures, physical? Are you using clay or whatever? Or figuratively in terms of not something like a face, but more abstract. It's probably the language barrier for me, I'm sorry for requiring clarification. And there is a at least 20-minute delay with the chat, so I'm not sure if you have been live streaming on YouTube yet. If you don't know that, it looks like you're ignoring the chat for even longer than I sometimes am, because I'm concentrating on the picture. In terms of human figure, okay, so also with black and white or with colors? I would definitely have to check that out. Leave me a comment that stays, so I can find your channel to check it out. If you're so kind to leave a comment. Because she has to get up early, she's going on school trip for 3 days. Okay. But having to go to school the next day has not stopped her before. I feel like I'm not ruining, but I'm not doing the picture any favors with the way I am doing beards. Sorry, I have to still work on how I do beards. I'm not a fan of my beard drawing technique. Well, you can see that it should be a beard, and it really adds actually a little bit of more recognizability. Although I have a little bit of a, yes, a bit of a more stronger jaw, I would say, in my picture than in reality. So, and I will not be able to remedy that anymore. That well, because this is just too dark of a pencil to remove. I need some kind of paper destroying, all-powerful eraser. Where's my normal pen eraser? Why am I always missing pens? There's a pen thief around. Ah, there it is. Okay. This one is actually pretty good in removing those remnants. Sorry. Because if I would try to remove that with my fingers, it would just smudge everything. And that would be terrible at this stage, because there is a little bit of work already in this picture that I would like to not ruin. She's also at home and Mom will take her iPad off her if she is on it after lights out. Okay, she is forgiven. So the first layer, as I said when I started over there, the first layer always looks not so great. I will also put some shading underneath this, a generous shading, once I have darkened some of the hairs, so that there is no real white left, because there is not that much highlights in there. If we put highlights into the beard, I feel confident to do those with the gel pen. Not that I would have ever have done that, but we will do that probably today. We'll see if we have to. So this pencil now is not very sharp, so it makes a pretty good job in making this a little bit less defined, which actually it needed. If you ask me, it was very scraggly looking with those more defined looking beard hairs. Okay, let's go in with a little bit of the Blackstone one. Ugh, it's breaking again. There is a very dark area down here. It's actually not that dark, so the darkest darkness is around this area, so we will not do too much with the Darkstone one. We will go back to the least hard one to remove all traces of white where there are no, and be careful around this area here, because there are some, so we will leave a little bit so we do not need to use the gel pen. I'm not mad at it. Again, we have to look at the where hair meets skin, that it does not look like the skin is glued on. It looks more like one piece. But then I'm not mad at it. I work on different mediums. Sometimes I paint on paper, canvas, sometimes I paint on wall as mural or any surface I can paint on. So paint means probably color, right? But that sounds like a lot of different sizes, form factors. So it sounds quite intriguing. I would definitely check it out. So I have to be a bit careful here with the hair because I do not have this paper started to destroy everything, and I do not want to ruin a second piece of perfectly fine paper just because I could smudge. So I have to be careful not to smudge. While I take care of this area here. I will have to use the gel pen here for single white hairs. I'm actually quite excited to do that and see how that affects the picture. So for everyone that is new to this channel, the live stream is only part of it, and actually the live stream is a pretty new thing for me, at least here on YouTube. I used to stream a little bit on Twitch, but that's not the point. The live stream is only a part of the process. After I finish the portrait, I will post a time-lapse video with comments. And with some of them, I even try to be funny in it. So check those out. This one, for example, I will have to finish today, but because I post those time lapses on Mondays. So this should be finished today. So I can finish the video tomorrow because YouTube is very slow in processing those streams. And then there will be a time lapse video tomorrow with a length of about 6 minutes normally of those portraits. So if you want to check out the whole process in time lapse, subscribe and check out the video tomorrow. And there are already tons of videos like this. But this is starting to become one of my favorites, truth be told. I was so hesitant to do this because there's so much in this picture that I've never done before. But I'm happy I did. And I actually, for your information, this is the third stream. Normally I do 2, but I messed up so much in the first one. You see how the eye is just where it should not be, that I had to restart. And so this is my redemption one, and I am pretty happy with how it is turning out, I have to say. If you haven't already, you should join Discord, Chuck, and post some of your works. Yes, exactly. I have a Discord. If you're interested, you can join it. It is in the description of my regular videos, not this one, I think. I still do not understand the descriptions of live videos. I have to look into that. In the regular videos, there is a link to my Discord, and I appreciate everyone joining. And there is an area where you can post your own pictures. There's even an area where you could post some of the links to your videos if you want to. But please make sure that it is in the correct channel. It is something like promotion. Let me check. It is called and the genre, there's an announce your streams or videos, it is called. So just put a video in there so we can check it all out. Ideally something that is family friendly. If you do figure painting, this could be pretty full frontal nudity probably, which is fine, but we know that we have some kids on the server, and Well, I would not have an issue with my kids looking at art like that. I'm not sure if every parent would be happy with that. Hey! Yorkshire Puts! How are you guys? Thank you for stopping by. Are you both there? You guys, those are pretty cool. It's a couple that is playing a lot of different games. And Shakira, I have to call you Shakira in the stream right now. Forgot already. Shakira, you are playing Ark, but they are playing Conan, so basically the same game. Less dinosaurs. So if you're interested in that, check them out. They are really cool. So I'm glad you managed it. I actually was thinking about when I'm streaming on a Sunday, might be that they have the time to join and say hello. I was too scared to ask because I think Yorkshire Puts sounds very UK-ly, but you're always active in US times. In which time zone are you actually? How late is it where you are? I would expect now, because this would be quite early for the US. You are in the UK, right? That would be my very strong guess, also from your accents, actually. Thank you very much. Looking awesome. Yeah, I'm surprisingly happy with it. It's the first time I've done this kind of hair, and while it looks a little bit like a fish found his head and laid some eggs on it, it doesn't look that bad. It's doing its job. His hair is doing its job. And so we will see in the end if we improve something there. Probably I will actually not do it on stream, but before I publish the video. If I will do something, because I probably will need a little bit of time and not look at it for a couple of hours before I can see if I want to do something else. But as it is the first time that I'm using this kind of technique for this kind of hair, I am pretty happy with it, and might ruin more if I try more. Because right now it looks pretty okay for the kind of light reflections that I need there, you know. But this is really going into my hands. I'm doing all the time. I'm doing advertisement for my mood coasters. If you have not seen them, there is a video how I made them on my channel. I'm always using that as an excuse to have a break and to show off my new favorite crafting project that I did. They are not perfect, but it was the first time there also with those thermochromic colors that I'm using and resin and everything completely new. So I'm very happy with how that turned out, and I have a very good idea how to improve on that. And that will not be the last color changing coasters that I will ever do. Anyway, so I know you guys have seen it. You have commented on the video. When I bring the coasters out, Leo awakes. It's very late for I'm making that kind of comment because Leo it's after 4 AM now for you, Leo. Something like that. Hey Lainey, now you're there also. Hey, yes, UK. Okay, so yeah, 10:19. Good. That's. I also need to. If we make that Phasmophoria video, I also have to know that because Cam is in the US, so it will be this morning when we're doing that game. I'm actually not sure if he will make a video out of it because he just now changed his time plan from daily videos also, but only one. You are so productive. 3 videos are what you're doing per day. Crazy stuff. He's switching it up to 3, I think, and I'm not sure if he will film Phasmophoria. But yeah, already said he doesn't need to really use it as a video. He would also be fine just playing it. So I will ask him. Yeah, I had to rush this, so I had to put this first to finish this picture, because I failed in the first live stream. There we created this abomination with the eye totally out of place. I was rushing it there. That eye was the first thing I did in that picture, and I wanted to make it more interesting for stream viewers, so that I started with a lot of detail. But once I start with that kind of dark pencil strokes, I cannot really erase that anymore. So that was the issue. Why I could not repair that, but had to restart. And that is the reason why there is a Sunday stream today. So yeah, I have to be quite careful because there's a lot of light, but I will probably go into it with my gel pen, which is pretty new. I've used it the last portrait for the first time. I have only used it for eyes yet. You see here there's white light reflections in the eyes. That is the gel pen. So I have to be careful how to use it with other areas like hair. I have not done that yet. I have to experiment there. But as long as you guys are all here, I feel secure enough to go for it today. Filming a note is fine with it. Yeah, I honestly, I only asked because I want to play that effing game. I know a lot about that game because I've watched a lot of gameplay. I have not played much. I have played on my own, but I get also so terribly scared that on my own I cannot play more than one game. And I would love to play with, I have played with one other person. I would love to play a 4-person game. So that's my motivation. I just want to play with you guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really... The hair was a difficult part for me, but I watched actually this morning while I had my coffee, my second coffee. I watched a tutorial on how to do it because I needed help. I have never done curly short hair, and I am not really good in general with hair, so I need a little bit of help with that. And this technique is really easy. It's just a whole lot of circles with different strength of pencil. And it worked out pretty okay. It's not perfection, but it's the first time I'm doing it, so trying to cut myself a little bit of slack. Normally hating on something like this, but I'm trying to cut me a little slack. Shouldn't we all cut ourselves a little bit more slack than we normally do? I think we should. I think I went a little bit dark here for this area. The Adam's apple. I need a bit more light here to make it look more three-dimensional. Yeah, I think that works better. Yeah, well, the interesting thing is you are not allowed to scream when the ghost is hunting, you know? So you have to be quiet. At least in the early levels, I managed to stay alive a lot, because it is not that difficult to stay alive, actually. So that might be a bit against the horror aspect, but believe me, you'll be really scared enough anyway. But if you follow certain rules, you can very well stay alive. And those rules is just when the ghost starts hunting. You notice that by flashing lights. Even your flashlight starts flashing. Put out the flashlight. Change the room. Find some area, some nook or cranny where you can just crouch into. And with some of those ghosts, you even seem to need to look at the floor. If you do that until the hunting is done, if the ghost did not already follow you from the get-go, you should survive. But I will tell you a little bit about it when we play, so you can perhaps even use that in your video if you want to. If you do not have looked that up already anyway. But I have no problem with sharing some strategies. Although we have to put in a disclaimer because there are so many people saying different stuff. So some things that I say will perhaps not even be completely true, because some people say you have to switch off the flashlight if the geist. Putting some German in there to teach you guys. The ghost haunts. Some people say you do not need to switch off your flashlight. If I were a ghost, I would follow the flashlight, so I'm switching off the flashlight. Yeah, during a hunting you should not speak, because you have to make sure that you have activated your microphone, and you have to have activated the voice recognition, and you have to have installed a speech packet, because the ghost speaks back to you in certain conditions, and you will not hear that if you have not a speech packet installed. And the ghost reacts to, for example, you calling their name, so you have to have your microphone activated and working in the game. There is a menu point where you can test that, so if you want to set it up before, make sure you go into the game and there is an audio setting where you can test the input to make sure that it works, and you can talk to the ghost. This does not look perfect, but we will go with it for now. And we're not so far away from the finish line, actually. And looks pretty nice. He has more of a prominent chin than in the original, so not perfect, but what can you do? So as always, there's the question: how much of the I think my there is. I'm sorry. I haven't. How do you like my T-shirt? I like my T-shirt. Camera is frozen, right? Give me a second. It's back. I like my t-shirt. The timer that I have to take my pills just went off. I will take it after the stream though. Okay, I like it. The question, how much detail we put into everything surrounding the face, meaning the costume. We will not really do a lot of that here. We'll just show that there is something and we are not just dealing with a floating hat. So we'll add a couple of lines that help us with that. But we do not really flesh them out too much. And as I so often do, I will just put a contrast line around the face, not everywhere with complete blackness, but at some places so that we get a bit more of a pop between face and background, you know? Let me turn this around so that I don't make too much of a mistake here. We have to revisit the ear for a second though, because that is not very beautiful. We'll just put in a little bit of a contrast with my Blackstone pencil. Blackstone could also be a castle name. Blackstone Castle. There's pretty sure there is a Blackstone Castle somewhere. Thank you, Shakira. Thank you so much. T-shirt is cool, right? I love this t-shirt. I also already drew the... what's his name? Loki. So... Chaos and Destruction. I am smudging again. Okay, now I have to become a bit careful because I do not want to ruin it. I cannot do that much anymore. So I will use the gel pen for certain areas, and that will be quite exciting because the first time I'm doing it. I do not really have this light anymore on his ears, so I will add that with the gel pen, but because that is pretty ideal, what I could use the gel pen with. Yeah, I do not have any copyright on Blackstone Castle, so feel free to use that. So well, the Blackstone is very, you see the Blackstone is very soft, so I get these, the gel pen actually gets dirty from it. So we have to be careful and clean it again. Probably we'll wait for a second to let that dry, and perhaps I can put an even whiter line then on top of it. Because that is a bit gray for my taste. Oh, I have not put that in. That is always a little detail that also helps here. A little bit of hair still here, but that's not as curly, so we can just squiggle something in there. And we will actually use the gel pen in there to... Look, come on, give me white. Let's put some highlights in there. Let's see if we can make this whiter. Yeah, perfect. I do not put a lot of pressure on there, so I do not break the surface of the dried white, and then it works reasonably well enough. We need a little bit of white here. And we need a little bit of white in this beard here. The flow is not perfect, so I have to make the white flow from time to time again. That's a bit dark here. Though I like the contrast, it is not really fitting to the rest. This is not... Let me take my lightest pencil. This is not really complete light. So sometimes there are complete areas, like this small one, which you just miss when you have been so into the details of the face and working so much on so many different things. You just don't see it anymore. So that's one of the reasons why I sometimes change little things even after the stream, but I always put them into video so you see what I have done. Okay, so I think we will look a little bit into facial details and shading, because here we can still put a little bit more of a... If you see anything that doesn't look right or which I could have missed, now's the time for you to tell me. I'm totally open to that. I will change for the last few minutes. I will change the music to something a little bit more calm, so Leo can finally go to sleep. Poor Leo. I will have also to speak a little softer, so... So we have a relaxed Sunday afternoon, night, morning stream. No stress. I'm not mad at it. Might be like with the... If you have seen the end of the first stream, after which I scrapped this, you would be surprised if you go back and look at it, because I seem happy with it. I did not notice how extremely bad this eye was misplaced. That happens if you are that deep into the picture. So I might start hating on this also after a couple of hours. But for now, I think actually my microphone is too loud. You haven't told me that I'm sometimes a bit... Let me dial that back a bit. Quality should be better. Okay. So I'm getting to the point where I might fall asleep too. Yeah, it is also late for you, so I am reducing the noise level a bit, helping you find a relaxed place in your head to just have a restful night of sleep. Not be too excited. After all, tomorrow is a new week and you will be full of energy. I'm feeling like Bob Ross right now. Okay, so, although he did not really give motivational speeches for the upcoming week, did he? He should have. He was a very motivational person. Okay, I will finish it for now because I think it's not that terrible. We will take a step back and see. If you're new to the channel, I am turning these live streams always in a time-lapse video with comments. So I tell you what I did or what decisions I took or whatsoever. I also, again, the plug, because I still am in love with them. I'm trying other stuff now, like this mood ring coaster, which is a bit much, but I'm holding it like this because you can see how fast it reacts actually to just the hand underneath, and that I find pretty cool. See my hand through the coaster. So if you want to see the video how I did that, it is on my channel. They are pretty cool. And it is a 10-minute video, not that long. If you like what you've seen, I would be happy if you give me a thumbs up for the stream. And perhaps even subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll come back tomorrow morning, Monday. Not morning, depends on where you are. But Mondays, I will release this video, the time-lapse of the full painting. So you can take a look back at the beginning and everything. I have to see how I incorporate that misfiring in the first stream, if I just leave it out or if I just comment on it. I'm not sure. Normally I don't hide mistakes, so it will be probably somehow in there. Yeah, but that's it. Thank you everyone for watching, everyone that was active in the chat today. I really appreciate it. If you want to help a small YouTuber out, also like Yorkshire Puts, if you want to help them out, check them out. If you want to help me out, check me out. Share the videos if you like mine or any other smaller YouTubers that you love, want to support. Send their videos to people you know, share it on Facebook, whatever. That's the only way how we get more viewers. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you all in chat. See you next time. Next stream will be on Tuesday, planned, and around the same time. 10 AM in Europe, Central European time, or is it +1? You guys, no, Central European time, I think, is my time, right? Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.